Okay, we'll call this meeting of the Nome Common Council for July 14, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Martinson.
Here.
Councilmember Green, I have not heard from him yet. Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Piscoya.
Here.
Councilmember Henderson.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We have an agenda before you. Can I get a motion for approval of agenda?
I have one item,
Oh.
it's in front of you. It's a Parks and Recreation, name in July as Parks and Recreation Month. And some of the, and if that needs to be read, or if you want to look at it, either way. But just like to add that.
So under new business,
Yes.
we have a resolution R250701. We have an R250701 under new business already.
No, that's the ordinance.
Oh, that's ordinance,
Mhm.
okay, all right. So we'd be adding this resolution under new business,
We'll call it D.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. We have a motion to approve the agenda as amended with adding this resolution.
Make that motion. Second.
Councilmember Piscoya, Councilmember Martinson. Roll call on that.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Councilmember Piscoya.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Martinson.
Yes.
That passed.
Okay, also part of that, we have the minutes from the last meeting. A motion to approve the minutes.
We'll make that motion. Kim.
Any second?
Second.
Councilmember Martinson, Councilmember Piscoya. Roll call on that motion, please.
Councilmember Piscoya.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Martinson.
Yes.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
That motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, under communications, we have the May 29th, 2025 Nome Port Commission meeting minutes as part of the package. And we also have Snake River Bridge construction update. Is there anything, city manager, that we need to address, or just for the
It's just for
community
information.
information?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that brings us to our first citizens' comments. If there's any citizens that'd like to address the council, please come up, state your name, and we'll be happy to hear from you.
Good evening, City Council. I am Rexidus Pomeranke. I guess we've had quite a few encounters. I had a whole semi-small speech planned addressing several different things this evening. And then I realized sometimes I always want to address such heavy material in the most unprepared manners or instances. So I'm just going to put that past tonight. And I wanted to hand out these little Declaration of Independence booklets that I brought with me to Nome several years ago. I believe I tried to have a constitutional convention out here that didn't turn out too well. But overall, instead of addressing anything that I initially planned to address tonight, I just kind of wanted to start becoming a more familiar face. I've been in Nome for about 5 years. There's so many, I guess, civics and government tied issues that, you know, I thought I had a good handle on and understood, and now that I've been here, I'm realizing maybe there's a lot that I still don't understand, and I have a lot to learn, and that sometimes the appropriate place to address them is not this confined space with a particular agenda, but maybe on a larger scale platform. So, here, I'll leave it here. You can pass them down. But yeah. And I didn't want to bring up these heavy issues at this point. It was just a last minute change of heart. But I did want to, I guess, just put out like that public declaration of my intention moving forward and hopefully obtaining the mayoral position in this coming up next election, just to, in some way try to more familiarize myself with not only the city of Nome, which has become my home over the last 5 years, but also the people and the residents of this town. And with that, I wish you all a good evening, and I look forward to sitting in and listening.
Thank you, Rick, for this. Is there any other citizens who'd like to address the council tonight? Seeing none. The next item on the agenda under unfinished business is ordinance 0250601. This is a second reading, public hearing, and final decision. So you want to read that by title first?
Yeah. Ordinance 25-06-01, an ordinance amending the zoning map and amending Title 18 of the Nome Code of Ordinances with a new chapter, 18.62, Downtown Mixed Use District, a new chapter, 18.66, Downtown Core Mixed Use District, and amendments to sections 18.110.10 and 18.30.101.
Thank you. Just for a point of order, do we take the motion first, then go into the public hearing, or do we do the hearing first?
Public hearing first. Yeah, you do the hearing first.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
Unless y'all
public
have
hearing
some
before
other
taking the
process.
motion.
All right,
Yeah.
so it is 7:12. We'll recess into our public hearing on this ordinance. If anybody would like to address the council during public hearing, now's the time to do so. Seeing none, we'll come back into a meeting at 7:13. I entertain a motion on this, passing this ordinance.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Councilmember Martinson, Councilmember Poskoya. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Henderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinson,
Yes.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Piscoya.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passes. Thank you. Under new business, we have July 9th, 2025 memo to the Nome Common Council, a request of a waiver of penalty interest for Front Properties LLC. Mr. City Manager, Mr. City Clerk, do you have some information on this?
Yeah, in an audit with, on this account, and in speaking with the property owner, they made a late payment this last year and contributed it to our mail system, or the mail system in general, and asked if we could waive these penalties and interest. I asked for them to write a letter asking that of the council, and in doing my own research, I am able to verify that at least in the time that we've had digital accounts in our system, they've never been late. And so I'm bringing this to you for consideration, as they've been on time almost every year before that I can tell, as far back as 2012. I didn't think it an unfair request.
Okay, do we know how much that is?
Well, and so the property taxes on this property are quite large, and so the $1,000 that they're asking for is purely penalties and interest on that large amount, which I believe that the taxable amount was something close to $20,000.
How late was it?
A week. Yeah, it wasn't something that was like months and months late. It was like a week and change.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does the council wish to take any action on this item?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Henderson.
how often are statements mailed out to taxpayers that would indicate that there's an accrual or interest or penalties assigned to an account? Because this was for the 2024 first payment, right? First half installment payment, correct?
That's correct. So it's
And then I think in the letter, the taxpayer indicated that they've never received a statement or an invoice or anything showing that they were actually past due. So my question is, have they received any, in the last, I guess, a year, anything from the city showing that they were past due on the interest and late penalty?
we send out the initial bills in first week of July, and then there's a delinquencies that are sent out in November, and those are the only two times when we send out tax bills essentially. But as for why they did or did not get something, I have no idea. It's speculation.
So we, in November, assuming they received the mail, they should have received notification of the penalties and interest. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to waive the accrued penalties and interest on this account.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Henderson, seconded by Councilman Martinson. Any other further discussion from council level? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Martinson.
Yes.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Councilmember Piscoya.
No.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes,
That motion passes.
thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending the City of Nome FY 2025 Capital Projects Fund Budget. First reading and discussion. Entertain a motion, and then we'll see if we have any discussion on that.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Councilman Martinson, Councilmember Piscoya. I think Nikki's online.
Yes, if she
Yes.
has any. Nikki, do you have anything to add other than what was put in the agenda?
No,
That
this
is
is just, this
20
is just a budget correction where we're reducing the transfer in from the general fund by $50,000. It was just missed when we did the June 9 second reading.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Is there any questions for Nikki or the city manager amongst the council? Or any discussion? Hearing none, please, roll call, please.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Councilmember Piscoya.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Myerson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 0250702. Will you read that by title, please, Mr. Clerk?
Ordinance 25-07-02, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Nome, Alaska, delaying the imposition of sales tax rate increase if ratified by voters.
Do I have entertain a motion to pass this first reading of this ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilmember Martinson, Councilmember Piscoya. Could you just give us a little bit more information on that for the public?
So, previously, we had passed an ordinance to put a sales tax increase on our ballot for elections, elections this year. And so the implementation of the sales tax, when it will be implemented, if that passes, would be set at January 1st.
As opposed to what's in the ordinance to have it start on,
It wasn't very clear, it wasn't clearly stated in the original ordinance.
so this more clarifies when it would start if it passes.
And I think that this is, it gives the businesses,
Time.
it gives us time to implement it effectively and fairly.
Probably helps the remote sellers thing too.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the most difficult. Yeah.
If.
All right, any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Henderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Piscoya.
Yes.
That passed.
Thank you, it passes. Now we're on the part of the agenda for the second chance for citizens' comments.
Resolution that
D.
the.
Oh, we have
Item
a.
D
yep,
should be put in.
thank you, yep. We do have another item that was added earlier, and I forgot. It's Resolution R250701. Could you read that by title, please?
Resolution 25-07-01, a resolution designating the month of July as Parks and Recreation Month.
Thank you. I entertain a motion on this resolution.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Councilmember Martinson, Councilmember Piscoya, City Manager, do you want to elaborate on what this is for?
Well, one of the things we'll be doing is recognizing different events, different, I know we've been talking like the Norton Sound. Some months you have like Alzheimer's Awareness Month where we have groups who have asked to be recognized. But in this case, Parks and Recreation for not just young people and some of us in the middle ground, and then elders, the importance of health and wellness, participating in things. So this month we'll be getting out more information of programs for the fall for kids and elders to participate in. And with diabetes at the rate that it is here in this community is very high. So we're encouraging people to get out, walk, and when the snow falls, come to the recreation center and participate. So it really is a health and wellness and encourages people to participate, come join. But also looking for volunteers to help us with some of our parks, some of our programs. So we're going to be doing some of that this month too. Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion amongst the council? Seeing none, roll call please on this resolution.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Piscoya,
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes,
Motion passed.
motion passes. Thank you. Now we are part of the agenda that comes for a second chance for citizens to make comments. Are there any citizens that'd like to make comments tonight for the city council or the community? Seeing none, we are to utility manager's report. Do we have a utility manager's report for tonight?
I didn't have anything submitted to us. No, sir.
All right. City manager's report.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Just before, let's see, first item is Miss Marguerite is here from the library, and we have a really cool event going on this Thursday, so wanted her to come up and invite you and explain to the public what it is. Marguerite?
Hello. So 35 years ago, was anybody in this room a part of the summer reading program? It would be 1990. I obviously don't have the perfect sense of how old some of my patrons are. I've been asking them. We put out a flyer about it, but nobody got back to us. And one person just shook their head and said, Marguerite, I would have been 2. But you can join the summer reading program as a 3-year-old. So we're sort of looking, and if you take 35 years plus 3, so we're sort of looking for people from Nome who would be around 38 to 45. So I was getting a little bit dismayed that I couldn't find somebody, and so I started just asking all my patrons, and one parent said, yes, I think my oldest, and I think this person and that person, so they're all going to ask their kids. But finally, we looked through the Nome Nugget, and we saw a person with a name who still lives in Nome. I don't know them super well, but I called them. And I said, hi, this is Marguerite from the library. I'm just wondering if you remember the summer reading program from 1990. And the gentleman's like, oh, yeah, I love going to the library. I said, okay, that's great. Do you remember the time capsule? Oh, my gosh, I have been waiting for that time capsule to be opened. I put things in it. So did my sister. She doesn't live in town, but I'll see if I can get her here. But anyway, so hopefully he will show up and he will be our guest of honor. But anybody else hearing this, please step forward to the library. Let us know if you too were a part of the summer reading program. We do not have a list of everybody. We were just lucky to see the one photo. So Dee McKenna was the library director back then. And she is going to, this is her second chance trying to get here. The time capsule originally, according to the Nome Nugget, was to be opened in 2010. But for whatever reason that didn't happen. I'm not quite sure. But then we tried for 2020. And obviously we had it all set up. We had asked Mayor Benneville to say a few words, and everything was set up, and then it had to be canceled in May. So we are trying again, 35 years later. She will be coming up with somebody named Joe Davis. I've met him once. I don't know if anybody else knows him, but evidently Joe Davis was famous for something called Harry the Bear, which I guess is a puppet. So he will be bringing the puppet. He will be there. Dee McKenna will be there. I have reached out to other people from the 90s, and so we'll be doing that. There was a little hitch with our time capsule. Our time capsule, when, I don't know how many of you would have remembered, but it was hanging in the library on Front Street. And when we moved to our new building, I was told that it just was no way to hang it there with all the glass and with the high ceilings. So it went to our Public Works building, and it has been through a fire, which I was feeling really bad about until, again, I asked one of my patrons, and, they're, yes, we'll go. And I'm like, well, I'm feeling really bad about this fire. And she's like, it just makes it more mysterious and more exciting. So I love my positive patrons. So, but anyway, so John Hanlon will make it if he can't. If he can't, oops. If he can't, then city manager has graciously offered to say a few words, and I have forwarded some history to him. So there's going to be a meet and greet starting at 4. I know not everybody gets off at 4, but there will be a meet and greet at 4, and 5 o'clock will be the opening ceremony. So there will be some surprises. In looking at the Nome Nugget, which is an amazing newspaper, we have found out that the kids took Polaroids, so there might be some Polaroids, that they wrote letters to kids of the future, so there might be some of those. Everything else is just simply a mystery. I have heard a few things that people think are in there, but the Nome Nugget did disclose these items, so I can tell you at least those items will be in there. We'll have some light refreshments, and I hope as many people as possible can attend. And I did speak with one parent who thinks their child may have been there, and their grandkids are super excited about it. So talk to more people, see if anybody remembers the time capsule. The time capsule is in the library now. Thanks to building maintenance, they have figured out how to open it, which is great because it's a sealed metal time capsule. And we're hoping to put it on display in the library. We will not hang it out, but just put it on display. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll put it out and put that on Nome Post and Nome Announce and flyers at the grocery stores. So I hope you'll be able to come and enjoy this exciting moment. The kids are very excited about it. And then in that morning, we're going to have just a make your own. So for our older kid program, which is sort of like 8 to 13 years old, we'll have make your own, which actually very kindly Dee McKenna, the former library director, sent to us these time capsules. And so we're going to have some fun activities, and those little, they can take a little mini Polaroid. I think they're called Fuji, the little mini ones. So we have some mini ones, so we'll do that and try to recreate. And then they could, take it home and open it whenever they want. So.
Two things, Marguerite.
Yes.
What's the date of that?
Oh, yeah. So the date of that is this Thursday,
Okay.
July 17th, from 4 to 7. The 4 o'clock is the meet and greet with former librarian Dee McKenna, Railroad Joe Davis, and Harry the Bear. And then the opening, when the city manager has promised to be there, is at 5 o'clock. So, and it is in the Richard Foster Community Room. I kept thinking it was the Richard Foster Conference Room. And then my staff was like, no, it's community room. And I was like, where are you getting that? And they're like, well, Marguerite, that's what the plaque says right before you go in between the library and the conference room. So that's what we've started to call it. Oh, did I answer all your questions?
That was one. The other
Yes.
thing, I don't know if you noticed, but Councilmember Martinson said that he may have been participated in that.
You may have been. You're in that. Well,
Age range.
then
Won't be here Thursday though.
You might be in the time.
you won't be here Thursday. Well, you know what? So Dee McKenna said, if you even know of somebody that was a part of the program, please come along and share if you can. So there were 39 kids that did the summer reading program that summer. So I've only found 1 for sure and 2 maybes. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Real quick, you have, and I won't go through them all, but you do have our, I know it's at the end, but just to make mention, details, and I want to commend all of the department managers and folks that help the department managers with their reports for the quarter. Everybody did an excellent job. It's been, I know, just in my, today's day 91, and we've been busy with, with Enjoy's online, and give her a report if she needs to. But, making changes from human resources, updating our policies. We have a policy committee that's working on that. That is a big deal for the city and for human resources. Building inspector, we're looking at some things we hope to accomplish this year and get started as far as abatements on nuisance properties, abandoned vehicles, those kinds of things that we would get started on. So we're having to look at how we enforce that and how we do it and what the costs are. So we're working on that. We get a lot of complaints about that. Obviously, the Recreation Center, I'll be talking to you in the next 30 days about a possible public-private partnership with the Recreation Center, the bowling alley piece, to look at bringing in, we used to call them, well, I have called them pop-up restaurants, but the potential for separating from the rec center, where we would rent that facility and would be operated privately, the bowling alley, and the restaurant itself on a regular basis for dining in and also for takeout. And right now, well, I can say this, everybody's called for a Mexican restaurant, and that's what it would be, and I'm excited about that opportunity. So we've said we want to really be a part. I know Megan and I, Megan Anders and I have been working on some of the small business possibilities and encouraging private investment. So this is part of that. So we're looking at how we secure the rec center from this space, you know, for children or anyone else. That way, if the rec center is closed, people can't get in. But we have a really, really nice facility. I know first thought somebody will say, well, Iditarod and those things being used, we'll work that out with the restaurant if that needs to be utilized during those days. So we think we've got that worked out. So I'll be working with the attorneys on a lease program, and I'm excited about it, to be able to induce someone. Now, right now, it would not be a permanent place. What we want to do is if somebody wants to start a business, after a couple of years, we hope that the business would migrate themselves out into a facility that they can self-sustain. And then we could offer that opportunity to another business to get them started. So it's kind of like a business incubator. So we'll be talking to you about that more in the next 30 days. And again, I did go out with the Cape Nome project. They have done, if you've not been out, a really, really good job. They have worked hard and coming near completion, and that's part of our FEMA projects. And I do want to mention, we have brought up all of our projects. A few have been closed out. We have some to complete, like the dredge, that we're trying to figure out how to get in and fix that, but we think it is doable. So we're talking to an engineer to help us figure out how to do that. We have other areas going out towards the port, updates on some roads, bridges, and there's still several $1 million out there that are obligated. So we're trying to wrap those up. A number of them would be done this year before the fall, and the remaining next summer, so we can close out. Then this is from Orbach, so we will close those projects out. So we're excited to get that done, but it's a lot of work. But finance, the ports, you know, all the departments really. So we're moving that forward. Do want to mention to you, I mentioned Text My Gov, which is going to be called My Nome, and it will be a service that we can, let's say there's a missing person, we within about 3 minutes, and this will go out to every cell phone in the region. We're doing data mining now to look for cellular phone numbers. Some of that can be purchased, and we're looking at how to do that. Well, the company is doing it, Text My Gov. We'll also be doing a marketing plan this month in August to get people to sign up for emergencies. Weather, if there is a, some sort of a storm coming, we can put that information out there. We also can announce events. Let's say that, like the time capsule event, we can send those things out. So if there's a missing person, we will have the opportunity, for instance, having groups on there. I know during the first missing person, we had Dexter when, I guess a month or two ago, you know, their big thing was getting information out, good information, because you cannot depend on social media. We were getting a lot of false information, but now we can get information from the public. The system works both ways. You can text into it and say, you know, I saw at this time, but you get the notices. Also, when we're out doing these searches, just as an example, you know, it's like you're getting everybody's cell phones. Well, what they will do is volunteers will come in, they register to be part of the SAR, the search team, search and rescue, and we can put them on a group. Let's say the person is found. Boom, we send it out, come back, or there's some issue. That is an amazing opportunity. This will be cloud-based, so if anything happens in Nome, I'm not dependent in this system on a fiber line being cut. But this is kind of like a reverse 911. Fortunately, and Megan's on the phone too, Megan just, this was all happenstances, things, the stars aligned, has become FEMA certified for IPAWS, which is the National Alert System. So we will be certified, and this company and FEMA are closely partnered. So that is, we're very fortunate. So these are going to merge together. And we are certifying 2 other folks. So we have, if Megan's not available to enter information, then we'll have 2 more that are able to do that. Plus, if we're in emergency situations in a 24-hour periods, we have 3 people working shifts, and they can continue to get the information out. We will still use social media, but when information comes in, there's a process by which they will send it. I will see it, or one of my designees will see it, and we verify the information. That's the problem, is not getting good information. If you can't verify it, we don't send it. And that's been the rumor mill. You'll never cut it completely out, but we have to cut that out. Our biggest issue is also getting out in the community, where a lot of our folks don't participate outside of Nome, that we can include those. I am trying to get a meeting organized. Daisy and Stebbins and I have partnered, and we're looking to get anyone in this peninsula and this region together to look at possibly them joining with us on this alert system. We were able to get it at an awesome price for 3 years. I think we're paying less than $10,000, but they want to get a foothold here in Alaska. So, and with their already being attached to FEMA, I was glad to get them. I like a good price, but this is going to be awesome. I'll give you some more information at the next meeting. We'll begin marketing so people can volunteer number. If someone signs up with their number, that's what we're going to have. We're not going to have any of their other data. That's it. And in the fall, we will beta test basically for folks to call or text in. Say you see something that's damaged in the community, you can take a picture of it, notes, and they can go into our system. And like I said, text, but you can say, here's the group, it's an animal services issue. Boom, they hit that, it comes into a person, but then goes out to animal services. This is not for 911. It will be clear on there, if this is an emergency, dial 911. So we will be doing that. That's a good way to get people to volunteer and do a lot of things. So for the price, and this came out of that search for Dexter. So I was very respectful of it, but obviously, we realized he did pass away a few days later, which was, very unfortunate. And, he had some tough times over the last 2 years. But because of him, we're putting this system in place. We saw that day at during that search that we did not have a way to really communicate here and get information out. And right then and there, I looked at the fire department and said, we're changing this now. And we did. And it's taken all of us. And, in the budget, we were able to include it. And we are purchasing on the way. So I'm really excited about that. We are going out for RFQs for tax auditors. Ours will participate. Dan just talked to me about it. But we're going to be going out for business and personal property auditors that will actually go out, and instead of just self-reporting, they're going to be going out to see if what's been self-reported is accurate. If there's more things, if things have come off the list. So those RFQs are going out, and we look at doing that sometime late summer, early fall, and get that moving. Also, as well as, and if you've never met Daisy and Stebbins, she's the most energetic administrator I have ever met. But we're looking at bringing together all of our areas such as Wells, Teller, Uniclete, Kotzebue, where all the managers and administrators will get together for a day. And, we're looking to talk to the league about helping to support them to get here. To fund that, a plane ticket or whatever it is, and that looks like that's going to work. So this region really can get together to find out what kind of things we can do together and keep each other informed. So I'm really excited about that. Obviously, you saw the sales tax referendum. There's included in the packet is an actual calendar of events and things we have to do and stay on track with that. 3D House, the foundation and all that has gone in. I think in another week or two, they'll start the 3D printing. And we'll let you know what day that's going to begin. If you've never seen concrete 3D printing, you need to see it in person. I've seen a couple in the lower 48, but this is going to be an interesting project. And everybody said, who's going to live in it at first? And I said, I will, I'll test it, you know. We don't know yet, but it might be kind of a cool place to have people come in and out of, you know, for the city, or, you know, when they come up, you know, our engineers, things like that, but we'll see. I said, put some teenagers in there and you will definitely test it. The grant system will be in by August 1st. So we're gonna hit the ground running, train, and some outside organizations I'll be able to add to the system. Some of the corporations, you know, particularly the small ones that don't have, like Norton Sound has grant writers and those kind of things. But the smaller organizations do not. This will allow them to be on the system, look for their own grants, research, and help in writing them. So we're glad to be able to offer that to them. And we have, or I have begun in my office, the next month I'll be bringing to you the other tax list that we've talked about for additional revenues, to see if these are things you want to go to or interested in going further on, like the sin tax. So we're talking to, you know, cities, towns in and across Alaska, how they did it. Dillingham has some really good ideas. So we're going to be bringing that list back, kind of an option or a menu of yes, take a look, or no, we don't think so. And some of these new taxes, I will tell you, do require referendums in a couple of them. And so we'll need to, and code changes, so we'll need to be talking about that. But without going into anything else, the tax bills are out, and please come pay your taxes. Right, Dan? Okay. So, and if there's any questions about the reports, we'd be glad to answer any questions. And yeah, I do want to, let's see. Nikki, was there anything you needed to add on finance?
No, I don't have anything unless there's questions.
Okay. All right.
Is that
Yes, sir.
it? Any questions from council members for our city manager?
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Lee, could you talk about the swimming pool a little bit? I looked in Chip's report about, it sounds like we're having a difficult time attracting enough lifeguards to keep it open for the public. And I don't know what the 2025 budget amount was, but last year, I think it was about 125,000. So could you talk about that facility a little bit? And if we can't increase the lifeguards or the swimming pool, that's hours that are open to the public, what's the long-term solution here?
Well, there's, first of all, and I appreciate you bringing that up, the pool itself, we have to have senior lifeguards. They have to be 21 or over. We are finding it impossible to find someone. We've gone to those that used to be junior lifeguards that are now 21, and I have met one who's interested but is only here a week a month. So that is a real problem. We would ask if anybody, and I've talked to some parents of some of the kids that swim on a regular basis, if they would be interested while they're there to work for us. And we would, but we are having a difficult time. I will also say I was, unfortunately, I think Dan and I met with Chip. We went over the use of the pool, and I was pretty excited about the things we heard in our budget meetings, and the use of the facility is extremely low. It's a lot lower than I anticipated from the schools or the community. I'm not sure what that's about, but it looks like it has been going down for the last 4 or 5 years. And we have to consider the schools put in how much was it, Dan, this year? 300,000 or 400,000? It's a big number, because some of the number we've not been able to pull out yet, and the school would have to do that, is energy cost out there, and it costs a lot of money to keep the thing warm. We're, even with new equipment, we've had a major issue with chlorinator. The other is getting people here to work on it. You know, there's nobody here. Our guys were trained, and some of the school folks, but if you've ever worked in pool situations, it is a 24-hour-a-day system. And when you can't spend that time, you're gonna have problems. And with chlorinators, when you have the corroding of some of our systems, it's being very, very difficult. But I'm looking at maybe bringing together pool interest folks, parents in a meeting, and say, here's where we are. And I've talked to Jamie with the schools. If we don't have high usage, then we're looking at a massive number per hour per swimmer. I mean, you're talking per swimmer, thousands of dollars for the year. We have to figure out, is it worth keeping it open? And though I hate to go there, if there are no swimmers, if I can't get lifeguards. So to Councilman Henderson, I'm going to try this, well, not try, I will bring together folks interested in the pool to see if the community can help me get the volunteers or workers. We'll take both. We'll take, as long as you get certified, we will get them certified. We can, if somebody has an interest, but we've got to have that. The other thing is for the schools, we have conversation that their usage of it has fallen dramatically. So we need to talk about with the community, do you want the pool? This is an expensive venture. It's needed, but to what degree is it needed? And I think we have to have an open and honest conversation with the public on it. So we'll call that the end of this month, end of July. I can't believe it's July. But, and looking at the dollars, it's an ever increasing number, but we are going to pull out the energy costs from the schools. I don't think it's that difficult. We've just got to look at all the machines and look at what they generally use, the chemicals that are used, so we can do what the real cost is. And that's going to be part of the budget discussion moving forward. But if I don't have the lifeguards, we'll have to close it. There's no way around it. And that for us is I don't know what else to do. I can go get certified, but I don't know if you want me jumping in the pool. I'd have to save myself. So I really can't swim. But we may have to go out. And like I said, I'm desperately, and Chip, desperately looking for lifeguards. And, if there are, and we still need juniors, but I've got to have, when they're there, a senior lifeguard. And I know, and we appreciate Melissa Ford, she's one, but Melissa has a job and a life and travels, and when she's not here, I have no one. So that's, so I appreciate the question. I would invite, when I get this meeting together, any of council that want to go, but we need to have a very honest and open discussion about the pool.
I appreciate your answer.
Yes, sir.
And I would also request that we schedule a work session once you've had a chance to do a deep dive into the pool issue and figure out potential solutions or options, that we have a work session to discuss this.
We could do that in the first or second meeting in August, but probably the first meeting in August, if that will work. We'll get it.
Yeah, once you've got enough time to kind of figure out what's
Absolutely.
going on.
Yeah, but I appreciate you bringing that up very much.
The second question I've got is regarding, did I hear you correctly earlier? We're looking at leasing out the bowling alley and the kitchen in the rec center?
Yeah, I'm putting information, and then we'll be coming back to the council to look at that as a proposal. First, I wanted to see if I had a business that was serious about leasing that from the city to do that. So we're still in research mode, but I've got their proposal today, so I'm going over the business plan as to how to do that. And again, we've got to, with them, look at the use out there, and really it was a Diderot and one other event. There could be some conflict, so I'm talking to have called the Iditarod folks to see what they're looking. So we got to look at the usage, but we thought it would be a good opportunity. And it's more than the lease money. It's about another business in town that can hire people.
I think it's an interesting idea. We just need to be careful that, especially when we're looking at leasing city facilities,
Yep.
that we don't, give too much or subsidize, a business and give them an advantage, like with a lower than market lease rate to say over other restaurants that are already operating in the community that pay taxes, pay property taxes, et cetera. So I think I think it's a great idea. We just need to be careful on how we structure it so we don't give an unfair advantage.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing I will mention that I'm working on right now, and I've met with a couple of the mining companies, Graphite One, and I'm looking at finding a building or having one constructed with private investment that would be a residential and commercial washer and dryer. Because that's one of the things that I get hit with the mining folks is washers and dryer and showers. But it would be, could be one facility, and it could be a modular brought in, so we're researching that. It won't happen this year, but working towards next year, we could have it brought in, or a building, or construct something here. But it would be the larger washer and dryers, but it also would be something open to the public during the year. And obviously, it's a, there's charges, so we're going to be talking about that. It's a little bit of a business inducement. I've talked to a couple of the companies that were here for investment in Alaskan businesses at the summit that the city put on with Megan's help. But we're also looking at shower facilities. And if you go to the lower 48 and you go to on the interstates and you have those Loves or the different whatever, it would be kind of the same thing. You'd have somebody there that could run the commercial washer dryer and the residential washer and dryer and the showers and the bathing areas for men and women. They're separate, of course, and there's a charge. And I will tell you, the mining companies are all over it. So of course I've gone out like the good hands people and said, how much are you willing to invest? And they're willing to invest. So I'm putting a plan together, an option. This would have to be done through a third party, but it's one of the things that are being demanded by those. And so just to let you know, we're trying, and there's potential to hire people, a couple of full-time, a couple of part-time. So that's, like I said, an inducement for more jobs. Tax base, this would be a taxable unit, and we're already looking for washers and dryers, commercial and residential, so we can get our pricing together and put a business plan together so we can help someone go in that kind of business. Location, those kind of things. And we'll talk about location. I've said, it needs to be on Front Street. No, it needs to be over here near Hanson's. No, AC's, or it needs to be at the port. I don't know yet. But that's something we're going to have to talk about as far as location, ease to get to it, and those kind of things. So we're really working hard to look at new business. And the same thing with housing. We'll have another type of housing coming in the next 30 days. It's the fold-out facilities that they stand up, they fold them out. You've seen them, I'm sure, on YouTube. So that will be one of our next housing units. That will go in this September. So there's one more. We're also talking to some other universities. Penn State that is working on the 3D housing is doing this other fold-out housing. But I've reached out to 2 other universities to see if we could be the research and development for Arctic housing. And actually, they're interested in coming up and doing some of those things for R&D. Research and development brings jobs, brings a lot of young people. So anyway, we've got a lot going on in the business incentives, and we will be bringing together in August all of our downtown folks to talk about. We've done the zoning on Front Street, but now we want to look at what's the action plan to clean it up, to do some things to induce these businesses to clean up around their facilities. Some of it cosmetic some of it's structural. So we're looking at, that would be in the latter part of August to prepare for next season. So, like I said, we're busy, but those are good projects.
Great, thanks for the answer. That more than answered my question.
Thank you.
Councilmember Pascoya.
There's mention of the taxation there. I would imagine we're gonna tax them because you've taxed, we as a council and the Board of Equalization have taxed businesses when they come through appeals. And so as it's a business, it's for profit, it's gonna be taxed, so that's a non-issue there. And then the other question I had was on page 60, are we, the sales tax lagged? Because I see that we have unearned of 1.1 million in the financial report. I don't know if that's a Dan question or a Nikki question.
Nikki?
Nikki, yeah. We know who to call.
You're asking if there's a lag. The sales tax has been pretty, so I'm not expecting us to hit our sales tax budget, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Thank you.
That's a strange anomaly. You had it about 4 years ago. We still haven't figured that out. And the remote, and you brought remote sales tax, that's an odd bird. It kind of fluctuates, but you're seeing some, you would think with the thousands and thousands of Amazon and Walmart showing up at the post office, it should be really going up. But what you're finding is, depending on the remote sales tax, you're seeing product prices lower, so the taxes are going to be lower. So there's an up and down side to that. And a lot of the things that people are ordering are not here, but a lot of things that people purchase here or online are here, but they're paying less online. But that's it's a competition, and that has some to do with it. I think it's pretty minuscule right now, but that's gonna grow, and that's something we have to look at with our sales tax. So, but good question.
Any other questions for the city manager? Seeing none, I think we're down to council member comments.
All right, council member comments. Council member Henderson.
Just want to thank the staff for generating the quarterly reports. There's a lot of information packed in there, so I really appreciate all the work it took to put that all together. Really helpful. That's it. Thanks.
Council member Pascoya.
Thank you.
All right. Council member Miller.
No comments.
Council member Martin.
I don't have anything.
Mr. Chair.
Well, I think it will be really interesting to see what's in this time capsule.
They brought it in here this morning. I wanted to
Well,
shake it, make sure there was something.
And if Councilmember Martinson's in there, we need to know.
Yeah.
So, that's all I had.
We didn't know you were 38 or 39.
I'm a little older than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Absence of the mayor is not here tonight, and meeting's adjourned, 8:04. Thank you.
Man, you were right dead on the hour. Right dead on the hour. Good.